Hi, Tim Blankenship with Divorce661.com. We're a licensed and bonded legal document preparation firm specializing in divorce. We're a full-service firm that will take care of your entire divorce from start to finish for one low flat fee. Today we are talking about the judgment form. This is the FL 180, and specifically we're talking about an area where people are having trouble determining what date is placed in this specific field. This is at number 3. It basically says the court acquired jurisdiction of the respondent on what date. So the court wants to know, when did the jurisdiction in this case start? And people don't understand a lot of times what the court is asking for. What is this jurisdiction date they're asking for? Well, it's actually quite simple. What they want to know is, what is the day that your spouse was served, or if you were served, what is the day that you were served the documents, the summons and petition in your divorce? That's the date the court acquires jurisdiction, and that's what starts the clock on the 6-month process, on the 30-day process if you're filing a default style divorce. But that's the date you're going to want to use. So what date are we talking about specifically? When you file your divorce case, you have to then, in the next step, you need to serve your spouse. Not you specifically. It has to be someone other than you over the age of 18. Could be a family member, a friend, a process server, the sheriff, anything like that. So that date that they are served, if it's by personal service, is the day the court acquires jurisdiction, and that's the date you're going to place on the form. And again, that's also the date that starts the 6-month process. But what if you don't do personal service? What if you don't specifically hand the document to the other party, and so you don't know the specific date? So what we're talking about specifically is what's called the notice and acknowledgement of receipt. A lot of our divorce cases, we won't personally serve them. We will just mail serve them the divorce documents that's been filed, and we use what's called a notice of acknowledgement and receipt. If you mail those documents to the other party, again, it has to be someone else that has to mail them, but mail those documents to the other party, and it basically asks them to sign acknowledging receipt. And so for this date of jurisdiction, the day they sign that notice of acknowledgement of receipt will be the date of service, not the day you mailed it, the day they sign it, because they're required to sign it, acknowledging receipt, and then mail it back to you. When you get it back, take a look at the date they signed it. That will be the date of jurisdiction. The other thing I want to talk about is if you are serving your spouse and your spouse lives out of state. If they live out of state, you can use the notice of acknowledgement of receipt, but you can also use service by certified mail. This is where you will certified mail the documents to your spouse. You need to do it with return receipt, and they will sign the having received the certified mail. Sometimes the post office will sign having received it, but the day they receive it, and you get that card back, when you turn it over, it's going to say the day they were served. You can use that date as the date of service. That can be your date of jurisdiction for your divorce. So personal service would be the day they were served. Notice if you do a mail service, it's going to be the day they signed it. And if it's by certified mail, it's going to be the day they received it. So I hope that makes sense, because when you submit your judgment, if you have the date wrong on this line item, your divorce will be rejected, your judgment will be rejected simply for having the wrong date in there. If you have any questions on that, feel free to give me a call, 661-281-0266. We are a full-service divorce firm, and if you need assistance with your divorce, we'd be happy to take your case over, or if you haven't started, I'll be happy to get your divorce started and wrapped up for you. Please give us a call. Look forward to working with you, and thanks for watching.